My name is Misty Fay, and I'm the Executive Director of the Conflict Resolution Center of Baltimore County. We're pleased to have partnered with American Community Management to offer a variety of services to the community members that belong to American Community Management and also to the staff who work here at American Community Management. At the Conflict Resolution Center in Baltimore County, we provide a variety of services to help people who are in conflict with one another come to peaceful and effective agreements and resolutions to their situations. We offer community mediation services, community conferencing services, and conflict education workshops. Here at American Community Management, we've partnered with their staff to offer workshops in which the staff are able to learn to understand how to listen more effectively and to get residents to effective solutions with the community associations and with their neighbors. One of the things that we hear a lot at the Conflict Resolution Center is that people have problems with parking issues, people have problems with the animals of their neighbors, with the different rules and guidelines that say how you can improve your property or not improve your property. And we provide a mediation service where people come together to talk about, what are some of the issues. They get an opportunity to express, how they've been affected by the situation, and then really to talk about some effective solutions that everybody can agree to make the situation better. These processes are really effective and they help alleviate the need to go to court. Court costs can be very expensive. Court also has a social expense, which is that people have to take time off work, that lead to negative consequences for families. So when you use a conflict resolution process, you can do that at a time that's convenient for you and convenient for all of those involved. And also alleviates the need to spend a lot of money on lawyers. You always have the option at that point, if for some reason your resolution process doesn't work for you, you can always go back, and go to court if you choose that you need to. But about 95% of the time in Baltimore County, we see that these resolution processes work. So we get agreements and we get compliance with those agreements at a really high rate. In addition, people who use conflict resolution services come away feeling much better about the situation than if they have to go to court. Many times we hear people say, I went to court, I even got maybe some of what I was looking for, but it didn't really make the situation better. A lot of times courts deal with the symptoms, but not the actual problems. So using the conflict resolution services through a conflict resolution center, you actually address the issues that are at the core of the problems that you're facing. American Community Management has been wonderful in supporting their residents in reaching our services and also in providing education to their employees about how to hear what's happened, how people have been affected by it, and to think about what they want to see happen in order to make the situation better. So when the staff is interacting with community members in that way, people are able to get to resolutions faster with less cost. Another really wonderful thing that we've done here with American Community Management, which really sets American Community Management above a lot of the other community management programs in the state, is that we've been able to give this training to their staff. The staff are reporting that being able to use this kind of philosophy where people are heard and understood and given the opportunity to participate in making the resolution themselves has increased positive outcomes for their community members.
I have used the approach that was given at the workshop when talking to homeowners and found that more often than not, it diffused even the most irate homeowners that called. I would recommend this last workshop presentation to everyone. As I said before, it is a user-friendly approach.
I enjoyed the session with the Conflict Resolution Center of Baltimore County held in February 2012 and learned new tools when working with homeowners. Homeowners often call upset and angry and may take their anger out on the community manager. With the tools I learned, I feel like I will hopefully be able to ease the owner's mind and leave the owner feeling like their concerns were heard. I will make every effort to make sure the owner knows that I will work towards a peaceful resolution to their issue. I like the smaller groups and being in that setting. Managers and assistants were able to share stories, and that is the best way to learn from one another. Most likely, another manager has been in this situation before and can offer assistance.
Besides working with communities in management situations, the Conflict Resolution Center of Baltimore County does a lot of other work that's really important to our society. We do a lot of work with the Department of Juvenile Services, with the state's attorney's office, with schools, public schools, and with the police in Baltimore County in order to make referrals when crime and conflict happen, as it involves youth, or as it involves neighbors in neighborhood situations, or simple individuals, in order to address that crime and address that conflict in a way that helps hold people accountable for what they've done and also gives everyone a voice in deciding what makes it better. So we receive referrals, for instance, from the state's attorney's office when there have been fights, assaults, breaking and entering, thefts, those kinds of things. And we bring together everyone who's involved in that situation so that they can sit down and talk about what's actually happened, how it's affected them, and then they can come up with a written agreement about what they want to do in order to resolve the situation and stop it from happening again. So what comes out of those agreements sometimes are agreements for community service work, restitution, general dissolution of the conflict, and attendance to the crime that happened. So what we hear from people who use this service is that they end up getting out of the process much more than what they would have gotten if they had gone through a traditional punitive court system. For one thing, they can, as I said, do it at a time that's in place that's convenient for them, and they have a voice in being heard. Most of the time when you go through the court systems, just because you're making a complaint doesn't mean that you get a time to express how you've been affected by the thing that happened to you. Nor do you get the opportunity to say what it is that you want to make it better. Sometimes going to court can also make things worse. We've all heard those stories where somebody gets in a fight with someone else and that person presses charges against the first person goes and slashes the tires of the second person, and so on and so forth, and nothing ever really gets resolved, even though there may be fines or probation or other things that are imposed by the court. When you use the processes that we offer at the Conflict Resolution Center, you're much more likely to see a true resolution of the crime and conflict that's happened. So I am with the Conflict Resolution Center in Baltimore County, but we work very closely with many conflict resolution centers, community mediation centers, and community conferencing programs across the state. So just because you don't live in Baltimore County doesn't mean you can't avail yourself of these services. You can call us, and we're happy to be a conduit into reaching your particular county program. Our phone number is 410-663-7070. You can also email us at inquire@crcbaltimorecounty.org.